Hello and welcome back to my channel. Breaking news. It's official, the new hi-fi bar for Slimming World is dark chocolate and mint. Apparently Slimming World told the consultants yesterday and they were allowed to release the news from 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon. So it's probably already all over social media, but as somebody who can't access Instagram and Facebook and such like, I didn't know that. You probably already do, but if you don't go to a group or you were at group before yesterday, you probably haven't heard. So yeah, dark chocolate and mint might be quite nice. Right, straight to my results this week. I had an on-plan week, 2 A's, 2 B's, 11 Sims. Went out for a big Sunday lunch, the last of the birthday celebrations last Sunday, and lost £2. Now if anybody finds those £2 or has had an undeserved £2 gain, please can I have them back? Because I've got to find them by next Saturday or I'm in a position where I have to pay for group again. I don't mind paying, not at all, but I would prefer to be in target, and I certainly wasn't trying to lose weight this week. I've eaten plenty, more than plenty. I even enjoyed avocado this week. Yeah, so there I am. I'm going to stick with 2 A's this week, but I may well introduce an extra B on some, if not all of the days. Miles, oh yeah. How many miles? Yes, 33.61 this week, which is way down on what we normally do, which is another reason why I wasn't expecting a weight loss. I was aiming for a maintain this week or a slight gain because I was at the bottom of my target. So we walked less this week because we've had a busy week anyway, other commitments. So looking at my mileage and looking at the way I'd eaten, I thought I was good for a maintain or a slight gain. So we'll see where next week takes me if I introduce an extra B choice on most of the days, if not all of them. Wonderful group this morning, really good. I bang on all the time about my consultant, but she is a really genuinely nice girl and she cares about us, and she's a very sensitive, caring person, and she cried her eyes out this morning because somebody came back to group who had marvellous results at some time in the past and had, well, let's say, step backwards to beyond where they started. And that could happen to any of us. And the reason I am adamant about sticking to plan today, for me, is that I am determined not to go back to where I used to be. And when you see it happen to other people, you realise those people are just like me. There's nothing good about me and nothing bad about them. I think most of us who've been around this plan for a long time have experienced it. It's so easy to let it slide. I know I've done it. I mean, this week we were clearing out a cupboard and Joe said to me, I found one of your old Slimming World books. And I said, oh, throw it away, I don't need it. And then second thoughts, well, hang on, let's have a look in the back of it and see when it was and how much I weighed. And that book was from August 2009. And I weighed 19 stone 6.5 pounds. I think it was 6th of August 2009, right? By March 2010, I weighed 22 stone. That's scary. I mean, that is well over a 2 stone gain in 7 months. That's how easy it is. And I know that could happen to me again today if I let it slide. I could put 2-3 stone on. I could gain, I've done it before, so I'm speaking from experience. I have gained 7 stone in a year before. That actually scares me, to think I could go back and do that again. I'm not going there anymore. I'm just not going there again. So I will stick to this plan and I'll bang the drum for Slimming World because I believe in it. I really believe in the way I eat today. The way I eat today is why I weigh 10 stone too. You know, and I used to weigh 22 stone because of the way I ate then. There's nothing magic about the plan. It's just a lot of common sense, a lot of good ideas, a lot of experience. And I have to say, the further I get away from being morbidly obese, I'm not going to say the easier it is to work this plan, but the more comfortable it is, because I don't have the same cravings I used to have. I don't have any desire to eat crap anymore the way I used to. And it just feels different, and it's really hard to put it in words, but you'll know when you get there. You'll know that feeling when you find it. It's very different from the way that my head used to be about food. You know, there's a lot of stuff out there now that I used to totally binge on, that I think about today and I think, I couldn't eat that today, I don't want that today. So, we were just laughing before we came and started filming. Joe was reading something about the new flavours of Ben & Jerry's that have just come out. And the advertising is very clever, and it's talking about an old couch, you know, curling up on your old couch under a blanket with your box set of DVDs or whatever, or your Netflix or whatever, and this amazing ice cream. And I just said, rather have Richard Gere. I'm thinking of curling up on the couch. I don't need the ice cream, you can keep that. I'm not a fan of ice cream. And then Joe read the next flavour, and I said, I'd still rather have Richard Gere. And Joe just kind of looked at me as if I'd gone mad and said, who's Richard Gere? I tell you girls, sometimes you feel your age. But I'd rather have Richard Gere. You can keep Ben & Jerry. Right, so smashing morning at group. We had a standing consultant last week, and she was a really nice girl. And she's experienced. I think she runs 2 or 3 groups. But the point I'm going to bring out of this is, if you hear something in group that you are not 100% sure about, or you don't fully understand, or it doesn't make sense to you, never feel embarrassed about questioning it. We had a young lady last week, and I think in most groups last week they were covering the plan for new beginners. I think it was the week for doing it, beginning of September. This lovely young lady covered, you know, let's go back to basics, let's revisit the plan for everybody. And we did that. And one of the things she said was, you must remove all skin from fish. Now, several of us were like, looked at each other, and we've never heard that one before, but, you know, we can't be right about everything. And one of our long-term members actually, in a very polite way, queried it. When the lady said, have you learnt anything new in group? One of our old-term members said, well, I've never heard in group before that we need to remove all skin from fish. And the young lady smiled, and, you know, obviously I've taught you something you didn't know. Now, during the week, a number of us had contacted by text our consultant, and on our Facebook page queried this statement, to be told, no, you don't have to remove all skin from fish. If you did have to, it would be in your book, just the same way it says remove all skin from poultry. And of course, that's what we thought, because that's what we'd read and that's what we'd understood, and some of them have been around a lot longer than me. So the point I'm making here is, when you're told something, whether it's by a consultant, another member, a friend, somebody on Instagram, somebody on YouTube, whatever, if it doesn't sit comfortably with you, question it, because we can all make mistakes. And I'm sure there's times I can be on here and give sin values and get them wrong. I think we can all do that. But just query everything, really. Don't take everything at face value. Just question things. For your own safety, for your own plan, for your own weight loss. So that's what I brought back from group this morning. And it'll help me. Couple of products of the week. First, these. Coffee inspired Muller Lights. I am so pleased to see these back. Joe went to Asda the other day to get some groceries, some bits of groceries, and came back with 3 packs of those. They're £2 for a pack of 6 at the moment. Unless you shop at Waitrose online, where they're £1.50 for a pack of 6. But he came back with them and he went, Mum, you'll be so pleased to see these. They're back again, because I adore them. So yeah, they're back, and I think a lot of people have missed them. I took a pack of 6 in for the basket at group this morning, and a lot of people were amazed to see them back. So I think they must have only come back this week. It's the first time we've seen them. So that's my first couple of products. Oh, they make gorgeous overnight oats or overnight Weetabix. My second product is this. It's a soft cod roe. Now, some people probably don't even know what cod roe is. It's basically fish eggs, the same way caviar is, but caviar's pickled fish eggs and pretty pricey. I think this is about £2.50 for a small tin. You can put it on toast, you can put it on oat cakes, you can put it on rice cakes, whatever. It's just something that well, I grew up with it, so I like it. Some people have probably never tried it, probably wouldn't want to try it.
Could you eat it on its own?
Yeah, you could eat it on its own. I would even put it like in with vegetables, or I might even put it in a stir fry. But it's ready to eat. You don't have to cook it. You can just eat it as it is. Now, there is a thing called hard cod roe, which comes in a tin, which is much more the size of a small tin of baked beans. Don't mix the two up, because this is free. Hard cod roe is 4 cents for a small tin. It's still worth having if you've grown up with it like I did.
It was the Prince's one as well, so.
Ah, right.
It was for, I don't know.
It was the Prince's
varieties
one.
might be
Prince's
different.
hard cod roe is 4. Well, with the hard cod roe, what you tend to do is slice it and fry it. So you could fry it in fry light or whatever you choose to use. But this one is much, it's just, as I say, if it's something you grew up with, you'd like it. If it's something you'd never tried, it might be worth a try. You might just think, yuck, fish eggs, but we eat chicken's eggs all the time, don't we? Anyway, it's just there as a product. I like it. You might like to try it. Right. One of the things that we've done this week is another 7 days Slimming World food haul. I know we do this a bit differently to the average person who does them online, but we have to do it in a way that works for us because of the way we do our shopping. I actually sat and watched the vlog after Joe had put it up a couple of nights ago, and I was amazed by how much we eat. I mean, he does most of the shopping, and I don't even think about it, if I'm perfectly honest, unless I need something and I say, will you get me so-and-so? But anyway, the video went up, I think it was Thursday, and we've had 1 or 2 questions on the video, which I'm going to take the opportunity to answer here, because it's easier than having to write in the answers. And also, other people who've watched the videos might be interested in the answer. So, Joe, if you can just say what we've been asked.
Okay. Alicia Nicole Redman asks,
Pretty
what do you
name.
do with all the yoghurt?
What do we do with all the yoghurt? Right, when you watch our videos, there are always going to be a lot of yoghurts. We both love yoghurt. Now, I only eat, I'm trying to think, do I? Yes, I think I do. I only eat free yoghurt. I can't think of, can you think of any yoghurt? Oh, unless I have total 2%, which is 3 cents for the tub. And I'll buy total 2% if we're in a supermarket and they don't have total fat free. I don't mind spending 3 cents on it, but generally I buy the fat free one. So if you see yogurts on there that are free, Muller Lights, total fat free, Skya, which I love, Greek fat free natural yogurt, and they're generally the 400 or 500 ml size. They're mine.
You eat the Yeo ones as well.
Oh, the Yeo organic I like as well. But they're mine, if you see those. And I would have one of those big yogurts every day, generally at tea time. The quark, and I think the other day on there was 8 fat-free quarks, they're mine. And I have one of those in my breakfast every morning, hence buying 8, right? The Mullers are mine. Joe wouldn't touch a Muller yoghurt with a barge pole. They're mine. But I never, and seriously never, have more than one a day. I'm not somebody who believes in having 2, 3, 4 Muller yoghurts as a sweet treat during the day. They don't do it for me. And I don't like the fruit ones. So the only flavours I buy are Turkish Delight, which I think is a limited edition and will soon be disappearing. Vanilla with the dark chocolate bits in it. And I like the 2 coffee flavours, which have just come back. If they stopped those 4 flavours, I wouldn't buy Muller Lights until they came back with a flavour I liked. I don't like fruity things. I don't like fruity chocolates, I don't like fruity drinks, I don't like fruity milkshakes, I don't like fruity yoghurt. It's just personal taste. Now, you'll see lactose-free yoghurts on our shopping hauls. They're always Joe's. Joe doesn't have cow's milk with lactose in because it does terrible things to his, it does terrible things to his stomach. He has a problem with lactose. So any lactose-free yoghurts, and I believe they're 1.5 cents, Joe?
Yeah.
For the big ones. It's nice. I've eaten it when I ate one by mistake one day, and then had to sin it. But
it's
it is
quite
nice.
Thin, but I'll put milled up flaxseed.
To thicken.
Yeah, healthy
So,
extra beef, flaxseed in it, and it thickens up.
It reminds me of when you buy Asda's fat-free yoghurts, and that's quite thin, but I like those. But yeah, so they're Joe's, and all of the sheep's milk yoghurts are Joe's. Now, Joe might have 1, sometimes 2 of the lactose-free ones a day. He's a bit of a yoghurt, but well, we both are. We love yoghurt, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favourite food.
Favourite foods. So he might have 1 or 2 of the lactose ones every day. I think they're about, are they 150 each?
Yeah, 150.
Yeah. And he has a sheep's milk yoghurt every day. And that's what he has last thing at night. And I don't like sheep's milk yoghurt. You know why? Because it tastes of sheep. The first time I had one, I said to Joe, "Ooh, that tastes like lamb smells." You know when you're cooking lamb? I love lamb, but no, I don't like sheep's milk yoghurt. And I think they're about, are they 2.50 something each?
Yeah, they're 250.
Yeah.
We were getting them on offer, but Waitrose.
We've gone back up. There's only Waitrose and Sainsbury's that sell it. So our shopping hauls might appear quite expensive to some people. But I think I've stated before, we spend £50 plus a week on yoghurt. Easily £50 a week on. I hate to think actually how much we spend on yoghurt.
I think the simple answer to the question is we eat the yoghurt.
We eat the yoghurt,
We eat
and there's
the
only
yoghurt.
2
We
of
don't do
us.
anything special
We don't
with
do
it, we
anything
just eat
special
it.
with it. We don't bathe in it. We don't sell it. We don't give it away. We eat it. But we love it. And you know, when I say, and I feel like I'm justifying myself here, but when I say we spend £50 a week on yoghurt, or sometimes 60 or 70, we used to spend that same amount on fags.
We don't spend any money on petrol.
Yeah, well, no, we don't spend money on petrol because Joe's dad always fills his car up.
Yeah, but we don't drive.
We don't drive very far, we walk
Oh,
most
yeah.
places. 30 quid's worth of petrol lasts us the month.
We don't. I mean,
So-
a pint of beer. How much is a pint of beer?
£4.50
£4.50.
Our local.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to justify it, we're just saying it's what, as individuals, you choose to spend your money on. We used to spend twice as much on fags as we spend on yoghurt, and we both stopped smoking, so it's horses for courses. Any more? Yeah?
She also asked, would you mind showing us some recipes of your meal ideas for the week too?
Right, our recipes are always very simple because we believe in eating food as God made it. However it grows on the tree or a bush or underground or whatever, the most we'll kind of do to it is steam it generally. We don't, we do bacon roast things, I like roast veg and stuff like that, but because we have such a love for vegetables, it's not like when I was a child and I didn't like veg and my mum used to have to disguise it as something else or hide it in something else. And I hear people talking about blitzing vegetables to put them in bolognese and stuff like that. Oh my God, it makes me want to cry. Why ruin a good vegetable? We don't do anything like that. We're trying to live a really simple life, and we just eat fruit and vegetables as God created it, and we enjoy it that way.
Yeah, just
We
kind of
don't-
appreciate it for what it is.
We don't ever what's the word when you blitz something? What do people call it? I'm
Juice
making it-
blend.
Juicing. We don't ever juice anything because we believe if you eat a piece, I mean, Joe eats a lot of raw stuff. I tend to steam food. Joe eats raw spinach, raw mushrooms. He never cooks mushrooms. He eats a lot of raw carrots and things like that. He eats a lot of raw veg. I tend to steam things or saute them. We would never, on this plan, on Slimming World, we would never juice anything because we believe the plan works for us today because our body has to do that part of the work. So if I eat an orange or I eat an apple or I eat beetroot or aubergine or celery or asparagus. We have love for asparagus. I would never insult that piece of fruit by putting it through a juicer, because that's not, my body's not going to do what it's meant to do with it in that form.
Yeah, you've got to think like we've developed to have teeth for a reason.
Yeah, your teeth are for chewing.
Yeah.
Your digestive system is for digesting it, taking out the nutrition. So if I do most of that work by putting it through a blender so I've got nothing to chew, and throw away the bit that is the roughage that is supposed to go through my small and large intestine and come out via my bowel, that doesn't work for me today. It's not the way I choose to eat. So when you see a lot of fruit and veg on our shopping hauls, we eat that as it is. You know, recipes and things, we
steam it and season it, really.
Steam it and season it, yeah, or saute it and spice it up. But we're very simple around food, and we let food do its work in our bodies. And I believe today that's how I'm keeping the weight off. We don't deep fry anything. We don't own an active fry. We did have an active fry. We kept it for a fortnight, then we gave it away because it just didn't do it for us. We don't eat chips.
I think we had an active fry on one of the times we did Slimming World and it didn't work.
Exactly.
Probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, have I mentioned about finding that Slimming World book?
Yeah.
I haven't got a memory. I've got a good digestive system, but no memory.
Donnelly Will, Slimming World, asks, do you follow Slimming World too, Joe? Yeah.
What? You answer that then, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I generally have about 20 to 25 sins a day, healthy extra B, and yeah.
You don't always have an A.
I don't always have an A, but that's because I don't do cow's dairy very well.
Yeah.
But I'm not much of a cheese person anyway. I wouldn't like...
You've never really eaten cheese.
Yeah.
He's never in his whole life eaten butter, because he's a Jack Sprat, and I'm...
Yeah.
What is it? Jack Sprat, he ain't no fat, his
Well,
wife, she ain't no lean.
Yeah.
I'm the wife.
Oh.
I like the fat, but I don't eat it today. But he is such a Jack Sprat. From being tiny, from being a toddler, he would never have butter on his bread. He would never eat a cheese sandwich. So it's just your taste, isn't it?
Yeah. Although I like yoghurt, I don't like cheese.
Yeah, go on then.
Great Hall, your food is always so colourful. You definitely eat the rainbow, as they say. Quick question, how do you prepare your overnight Weetabix? Do you break the biscuits up or keep them whole? Do you find layering the ingredients a certain way to be better? Would love to see a how-to vlog.
Joe will do a how-to vlog on that one day, but
yeah,
you know when people do overnight oats and they layer it up with the fruit and the oats and the yoghurt? Well,
like a, what they call like a parfait.
Is that what it's called? Oh, right.
Well,
as I say, it's probably not a parfait. He makes it up as he goes along. I don't do fruit and yoghurt, so
yeah, it's a parfait.
So I always have my fruit on the side, but I eat my fruit first because I believe that the fruit's supposed to be part of the meal. So I eat my fruit first, then I have my overnight Weetabix. But basically what Joe does is he uses one of those beakers with the lid things you can put on from Lakeland, and he puts the whole tub of quark in the bottom, then finally crumbles the Weetabix in, then puts some Muller Lite on top, and then gives it a good stir, sticks the lid in, or he does 2 at a time, sticks the lid in, shoves it in the fridge, breakfast done for the next 2 days. But yeah, you can do a vlog on that, it would be nice. But yeah, that's basically what I do. And then on the side I have fruit, which I eat before my yoghurty thing, and I have 2 hard-boiled eggs.
Also, something you were talking about there, about having like your speed food first.
I always have
it helps.
Speed food first.
Yeah, because like the vitamins, minerals and enzymes from the fruit or vegetables that you have first will help break down the protein parts of your meal, the protein and fats of your meal. So
see, he's always teaching me stuff like this.
It pays off to eat your speed first.
This is why you taught me. If I'm going to eat raw things with my meal, then I eat the raw stuff first. People will see on our shopping hauls, as I said briefly, that Joe buys a lot of chestnut mushrooms. I don't like chestnut mushrooms. I like bog standard little white mushrooms, but he eats them raw. I've never seen Joe eat a cooked mushroom, never. Spinach. If I wilt spinach, he freaks. Spinach is to be eaten raw, in Joe's opinion. I've tried it, and if it's baby spinach, I can eat it raw. But sometimes you'll go and you'll buy a bag from Asda or somewhere and it's a bit stalky.
When you cook or wilt spinach and you cook mushrooms, they go slimy. I think that's the reason I don't like it.
Right. Okay.
Just the slimy texture. But anyway.
Any more?
Next question. How long does such a huge amount of shopping last?
Not long. All of the fruit and veg that you saw in our shopping haul, and that shopping haul went up to Wednesday, didn't it? Because it was 7 days from the previous Thursday. That's all gone now. We're on the next lot already. We buy it more or less fresh daily and we eat it. We were in Marks and Spencer's on Thursday and Joe saw some plums that he liked the look of and he bought some, and before we even got off the shopping street he'd eaten some and we had to go back and get another 18 because he came in sixes. And what did you buy then as well? A dozen figs. Yeah.
And he ate 6 that night.
And he ate 6 that night. So, you know, it's not unusual for him to eat 6 plums and 6 figs in a day and other fruit and veg. So the turnover is fast because it's the main part of our diet. So everything that you saw in the shopping haul, which ended on Wednesday, had gone by Friday. Not everything like all the tins of baked beans and things, because I bought 6 tins of organic baked beans from Waitrose, and my next Waitrose shop comes next Tuesday. I've probably still got 4 tins of beans left. So not all of that, sort of not all the tin stuff has gone. Most of it has, but not all of it. But all of the fruit and veg that you see in that 7-day vlog that went up on Thursday had gone by Friday. And we're on fresh stuff. In fact, we're going to Aldi later for a fruit and veg shop.
How many adults in your family?
Is he grown up? I'm joking, Joe, just the 2 of us that live here. We've got another one, but he doesn't live with us, so yeah, just the 2 of us.
Do you have a recipe which includes asparagus?
Don't have a recipe, but I can tell you how we cook it. Take a shallow glass dish, rinse your asparagus and lay it in the bottom. Tiny drop of water, Joe.
Yeah.
Only a tiny drop of water.
Only more.
Cover it with cling film. Put it in the microwave for about 50 seconds. Take it out.
No, make sure to leave it stand for a minute.
Oh, leave it to
Otherwise
stand
it
for a
goes
minute
dry.
before you take the cling film off, so it's kind of steaming it. Take it out, put it on your plate, and grind some garlic over it. That'll be
That's a tip. From Asda, they do a really nice garlic granules that you can just shake over anything.
which are about 75p.
Yeah.
And they haven't got salt in them.
Yeah,
just,
just
garlic granules. You have to be
Just dry
careful.
garlic.
You don't need to buy garlic salt. Just buy garlic separate and use your own salt. I mean, we use pink Himalayan salt, but that's just what we've come to through experience. Well, I don't really use salt. Joe uses pink Himalayan salt. I don't add salt to anything, and I'm the woman who used to have so much salt on my dinner it looked like snow.
It just goes back around to what we were saying earlier, doesn't it? Like, no, we don't have a recipe for it, but I'm sure there are people who are good with recipes and cooking who will have recipes for asparagus, but we just like it as it is. Like, just
so
appreciate
yeah,
it for
if you watch any of these
its own
vlogs, either comment on this one or the food haul one, if you do have a good recipe for asparagus, I mean, my mum wraps it in bacon or ham or something. If you do have a good recipe that you want to share, the more information the better. And it's lovely to know that there are lots of different ways of doing things. You don't have to do it all our way.
I used to make a really nice broccoli soup
Oh,
that
you
I
did?
found, it was, I think Gordon Ramsay
Excuse me.
made a video about it on YouTube, and it was literally just steam some broccoli and then rinse the broccoli off, so like
Drain it.
drain it, sorry, and then put it in like we put it in our bullet, and then use the water from the steamer, fill it half up and add a twist of salt, and that's it. Like, it's literally just broccoli and then the steamer
And
water.
water.
Yeah.
So there, you see, if it's good enough for Gordon Ramsay, it's fucking good enough
And then
for us.
and then I think he added goat's cheese to it. But that's
Well,
you
just
could,
crumbled some goat's cheese
yeah,
over
and you
the
could just
top.
have that as a healthy extra.
Yeah, or you could crumble feta over the top.
Yeah,
That'd
exactly.
be nice,
Just have
wouldn't
your
it?
healthy
or,
extra.
or any
over it.
of
But it's so
cheeses.
simple. You just got to appreciate like veg for what it is, I think.
Yeah. buy decent flavoured, good strong broccoli. You could do that with sprouting broccoli or tender stem as well.
Yeah, you could do it with any veg, I suppose. Yeah.
So there's a simple recipe for broccoli. Right, is that it?
Jane, are you bathing in the yoghurt? Is that your secret to success?
Joe, I wish it was that easy. I could just be Cleopatra. That's a nice question. Thank you. Yeah, I accept there's a lot of yoghurt. But if I can stay at 10 stone 4, 10 stone 2, whatever I am today, and eat that much yoghurt, I'm going to do it.
There's just something about it, isn't there?
It's just we like yoghurt.
We just like it.
But you know, it's really weird. I don't like ice cream.
Oh, I do.
But I love yoghurt. He loves ice cream. But yeah, I love yoghurt, so... But generally I eat my yoghurt at room temperature, so that might be the thing.
I don't eat ice cream, but I do like it. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
I bought some figs yesterday after seeing them on your last food haul, but I've only had them in restaurants. Do you eat them whole, skin and all?
Yes. I mean, what we do is just give them a rinse, nip the top off and enjoy. And there are some good ones around. I mean, it's quite late in the season for them now, but there are some really nice ones around. We paid, was it £4 for 12 in Marks and Spencer's? Oh, yeah. Which he was breaking his heart about it, because he then walked into
we already knew that.
Asda, and with his 75p for 6.
Yeah, 75p for 4, I think it was.
All right.
And £1 for 6.
So that would have been £2.25. But he went into a state of depression over that, and he hadn't even paid for them. So, yeah, there are some really good ones. Aldi have got some lovely figs at the moment, and theirs are about 80 odd p. So it's worth grabbing them while the season's still with us. We done?
Yeah, that's it.
Right, okay. I'm waffled on a bit there, and it turned into a bit of a conversation, but if you're interested, well, I hope there was something you could pick up from that. Quick word for today and a reason behind it. Mind games is my word. I suppose it's one word, could be two. There's a lovely young woman who vlogs on YouTube, and her name's Zara. And hi Zara, if you watch me, I don't know if you do, but this morning I was getting ready to go to group and I'd got a bit of time. So I picked up my iPad and I just thought I'll look on my, I subscribe to, see if anybody's uploaded anything overnight and just give it a quick watch. And Zara came up, and I do like her. I love her accent, I love her sense of humour. She's wacky. You're a wacky girl, but you're grand. And I started watching her, and she has not had the best of weeks because of bereavements and different things. And if you want to go and watch her video, Zara Broadbent, give her a look. She's had a tough week with family upsets and different things, and she shares really well and really honestly about this. But one of the things she touched on was when you're coming down in your weight loss journey, and Zara's come quite a long way. She's got a good distance to go, but she's come quite a long way. When you're coming down in that weight loss journey and you get close to dropping into the next stone bracket, she shared about how it makes her feel, and she often struggles at that point, and then she might bounce back up a bit or whatever. And I sat watching it, and I sat in this chair, and the anxiety that racked me, and I am a person who's prone to depression, but not particularly anxiety, but the anxiety that racked my gut was palpable, I think the word is. And I thought, God, why am I fit? And I can feel it now. And it took me back over my weight loss journey of what's very near to 12 stone. I think I'm at 11 stone 12 at the moment. It took me right back to the beginning of that journey, 22 stone. Every time I got near to get, even from 22 stone to get into 21, every time I got near to that stone marker, I struggled. I used to get really close to it, and then I had to take real positive action to get through that barrier by a good chunk. Because, and I had to learn this as I came down, I didn't get it in the beginning. I think I probably was 15 stone before I got it, or I got why I reacted the way I did. If I will take that 15 stone coming into 15s, if I was 16 stone 2, right, and I wanted to get into the 15s, I'd think to myself, it's a big ask to lose £3 to get from 16.2 to 15.13. So I'd have a good week, but I'd be trying to lose, say, £1, £1.50 to get closer to that 16 stone mark. When I got as close as I could, like within fingertip distance, I then used to plan to be 100% on plan, so that when I dropped below into the next stone bracket, I could drop by at least 2 or 3 pounds. Because it wasn't until I got to the 10 pound mark, so I would be 15 stone 10, that I lost those feelings of anxiety. And at first I didn't understand why. It took a long time to work through it, and I actually talked to my counsellor about it. We decided it was because of a fear of going back up through that barrier. So if I say I was 16 stone 2 and I lost 2.5 pounds to get to 15, 13.5, say, I would be panicking for the next 2 weeks about going back up through that barrier. I never felt safe until I got to something 10 pounds. Now, I'm not saying this is for you, Zara, or for anybody else. It's just how it was for me, and it might help. So my fear wasn't so much coming down through that stone barrier, it was the fear of going back up. And because the fear of going back up carried with it thoughts of guilt and failure. So if I'd got to 15 stone 13.5 and then not had a good week, so I went back up to 16 or 16 stone and half a pound, I would be hit by a full-on force of guilt. And then I'd lose the plot, and I'd probably go back up to 16.5 stone, and then I'd come down again, and then I'd bounce back up again. So I had to really take myself in hand to get down to the 10 pound mark. And once I got to that 10 pound mark, I felt safe. The anxiety went away. And it's all mind games with me. And I think that once I got control, or felt that I was managing those mind games, so they weren't managing me, it gave me the strength to get very close to the next stone mark and really do the programme 100% to get me well below that stone. And as I've come down and probably got into the 14s, the 13s, the 12 stones, it's actually got easier. But I was the woman who was petrified for weeks and weeks and weeks about going under 20 stone. And the insanity of it all, the mind games of it all, was I was afraid of being too thin. Now, you wouldn't believe somebody at 20 stone could be afraid of being too thin. I was. It took me a long time to overcome that. You know? One of the things I want to talk about, I might address it next week if I have the time to think about it properly, is happiness. What constitutes happiness? Because I've learnt a lot about that on my journey. Anyway, I've waffled on for an awful long time today. I hope the conversational bit in the middle was okay and you understood where we were coming from. We've had a good week. We feel very blessed this week, don't we, Joe?
Yep.
He's blessed today because I saw a desk I wanted to buy yesterday and it was £800, which made me think, a bit more than I wanted to pay. And bless him, he's just found it me on the internet for 504. So he's in a good place at the moment. He deserves a treat. He might get a yoghurt later.
Some smoked salmon.
Some smoked salmon.
From Odd.
Oh my God. Extravagance. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening if you managed to get to the end, and we'll see you next week. Remember, it works if I work it. It won't if I don't. Bye.